Ah, yes, Friday morning. You've been waiting all week for this, and now it is finally here. Simphiwe is in the studio. I'm at home. If I'd known our special guest was actually coming in this morning, I thought he was going to be joining us online. I probably would have had to come in because this is not the kind of person that I would miss out on any given day. He is, ladies and gentlemen, someone who's got a career spanning some 25 years. He is our premier comedian. He is an incredible success, and he is probably one of the OGs of not just comedy, but the entertainment business in South Africa. Started all the way back in 1998 with this man at the Smirnoff International Comedy Festival in Cape Town. He was the only black person on stage out of 44 comics. Can you believe that, Simphiwe? In South Africa. Trailblazer. He is none other than the incredible, amazing David Cow. How are you, sir?
Fine. Man, I'm good. Hey, I'm good. I think I'm a morning person. You know, I've been playing golf for the past 3-4 years. Oh, me, I'll wake up. I'll tee off at 6:24 a.m. or 6:15.
Look at you've become the old white man I should be. Playing golf.
Well, I can tell you, Gareth, very expensive to be an old white man. So now I just need to get the money now, and then all is good, and I can continue.
I did see you at the end of last year, in person. You did a show. You did some stand up for a corporate dinner that I was at, and you were on fire. You were talking about, COVID and all this other stuff, and it was absolutely hilarious. And I mean, you're as good as you've ever been. In fact, you probably, I reckon,
I think I'm funnier.
A groove.
I think I'm funnier now, or I'll probably be funnier the next time you see me.
Damn right. Dude, I've got to ask you, do you think this is very racist? Someone sent this to me yesterday. Yeah. But do you think this is racist? This is a photograph of our new Minister of Electricity.
Oh my God. It's definitely racist. It's not racist, but I think we need to start separating ridiculousness, and because memes have become so ridiculous. That thing was probably made by a black person.
It was. It was said to me.
So we can't say it's racist because we don't know where it comes from.
Yeah, we don't know, right?
Or it's a forwarded meme. But obviously in America, if you showed it to an African American, because it looks like an image from when black people in America used to be painted black to entertain white people.
Mm-hmm.
The whole blackface thing, right? So for me, it's not even in context. And I think that's where we always miss each other as South Africans, black, white, Indian. Everything is taken out of context.
The reason I'm even showing it is because it was sent to me by a black person. It was probably made by a black person. And unless you know that stuff, you are going to jump to conclusions about how you should be upset and offended. But what I thought was hilarious was, that it came to me just after the president announced his cabinet. And I started thinking about you because at that last show that I saw you at, you were hilarious about those ridiculous lockdown rules. And of course, the same people are still in cabinet, even though they've changed it a million times, right? And you actually pointed out just now, because you said it the other day too, our mayor has changed again. Now we have, did you see what happened in Tshwane this week? I don't want to talk politics this morning, but now the mayor of Tshwane, did you see what happened? It was declared insolvent.
No, he was a mayor for a few hours also, for like a
few hours.
Well, maybe 2 days or 3 days or something.
So is that like the shortest mayor we've ever had?
No. You still have there was that in and out between what's her name, Dr. Palazzi, and so I think Dada, who replaced Dr. Palazzi, may have had a few days, and then she went to court and blah blah blah. But the Tshwane one was really short. I don't think he knew where the key is or where he must park, if he's got bodyguards or not. I think the new bodyguards were still on the way, or his car was still being fitted with blue lights. It just very quickly. It was very, very quick. No. It made no. But here's the thing, Gareth. It's not gonna stop, and it may get worse in terms of if you think of reasons why there's all these collisions and changes of mayors, you and I, doesn't matter who we vote for. These politicians are going to get together and make side deals with each other. And then if the incoming doesn't do what they all want or how they want to screw us or steal more money or whatever, or allocate and share us, they're going to get rid of that one. Then we go back again. Then there's another vote. And that won't stop, right? So the problem, or for me, I'm wondering if you now go national, I doubt the ruling party will get a majority vote. Then they're going to go to another party and say, give us your 10% or whatever vote.
Right.
We'll give you 1, 2, 3. So either way, you're going to end up with all these parties that you didn't really vote for that are in government or governing, right? Because it's about the politicians. It's not about doing anything for the country or the citizens. If it doesn't suit what they want on that day, then there's going to be another vote of no confidence, and so at this, we are literally on autopilot. Like people always joke that this country is on autopilot. Everybody's literally, you're running your own private electricity, private medical aid, private schooling, private blah blah blah. You live in a private, you're surrounded by electricity fans. Everyone is is paying for a parallel state in South Africa, and it's only getting worse. We're starting to fill potholes ourselves. You know, you report traffic lights that are not working. It takes forever for anything to change. I think homeless people on drugs are controlling traffic better than the government at the moment, basically.
Yes. And the thing, you know what's so funny is that when it's load shedding, it's like we just get into this thing of like, there's somebody who's going to be at the robots directing, chief, wars are come. And it's like, that's the new norm now.
No. I'm hoping we are already at the bottom, but I'm afraid we're probably going to get worse before things can get better. It's a proper reset, and I think we're beyond our everyday 3D life at this point because nothing makes sense, you know?
Well, I mean, in some ways, you've got to admire how resilient we are, that we find a way no matter what. Because, you know, some people would say, well, we expect the government. Like, this is not Denmark. I mean, I've never been under any illusion that these guys are going to do everything. So I was actually talking yesterday evening. I gave a talk to a very smart bunch of people at a financial firm. And, you know, people, you could see it in their faces. People
Can you recommend me for that gig? I had talk, I had financial, and then I'm assuming there was a purchase order involved. So let me know.
David doesn't waste time. He's like, also that tender,
open
please,
for you.
Just
whatever they need to understand about financials and what not to do with the financials.
You know, you look at these people's faces and you can see it everywhere in South Africa now. People are just like up to here. They're being pushed. You know, they've got huge bills to pay. They've got to worry about all these things that you've already said we have to pay for, this parallel state. You know, kids have to go to private schools because you can't trust the government schools anymore. You have to worry about medical aid. You have to worry about all this shit that piles up. And I looked at these people and I was like, I'm not going to make these people miserable. I'm going to make them feel better. So I'm like, you have to realize, like, we are one of those countries where people actually, they do for themselves, even in like rural and shitty small town South Africa, where there's nothing. I mean, these municipalities
the towns are cleanest. You've got Kronstadt, my hometown. There's just one, some of the cleanest town wherever, but it's literally the business people locally that started cleaning the town themselves.
Oh wow!
And the residents,
this is what I love is
decorating their circles and planting, you know, some landscaping, etc.
Wasn't it Harry Smith, where the people actually, both the people in the town and in the township and in the businesses, they all got together and they took over the water plant and they fixed it. The ordinary people. Yeah. I think it was Harry.
It's possible because obviously after Harry Smith, you've got Kwakwa or Putadi Chaba, where the most horrible infrastructure from water, there's never water, there's never electricity, blah, blah, blah. My hometown, Kronstadt, we haven't consumed tap water, I don't know in how many years. You know, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Now and then, obviously people who don't have a choice do, but there's no way, you know. And but where I was going was, you say how resilient we are, and unfortunately, that has also become our downfall because we've accepted so much nonsense and bull and because everyone thinks, okay, I'll get private medical aid, I'll get private schooling, so now here's where we are now, right? Now you must get your own private electricity. Now you must get your own, you're adding to the private medical aid, private schooling, private da 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 da. But as soon as you leave your house or your estate, that's when you're gonna realize actually we're totally screwed, because now the robot's not working, there's no road, there's potholes, yada yada yada. The crime is ridiculous. So it's actually become it's unsustainable where we are now.
And guess who suffers the most is the poor people, because they don't have options.
Unsustainable. The people the majority of the country don't have those options, right?
No,
but also
no
the income you could be literally investing and becoming and creating your family wealth. I have friends that are paying R1 million a year for like 3 kids at a private school.
Yes,
at a private school, right?
That's a lot of money
for 3 kids. I've got friends paying like 250K for one child in one school, and then they'll tell you that doesn't include the sports and the extras, and it's not even boarding schools, by the way. If you saw that, forwarded thing with the top 10 most expensive schools in South Africa.
Yeah.
So,
well, someone told me that if you send your kid to like Hilton or one of those, it's 300,000 or 400,000 rand a year.
Right, around 369,000.
Sure.
Let's just take a call. Let's see who's on the line here. Hey, go ahead. Good morning.
How's it, Gareth? How are you?
Good. Go ahead.
Good. Gareth, I just want to. I honestly think all South Africans need to read and have a fundamental understanding of animal farm. I can't describe my distaste in politicians, and I think there's a disconnect and a misunderstanding of politics and what politicians actually do.
Yeah,
it's really. I think we can. It's a fundamental understanding of Orwell should be compulsory to get a matric certificate or to apply for a loan.
Can I tell you something else? I mean, I'm always a silver lining kind of guy, and I do hear what David's saying here too about the fact that it is our downfall that we're so resilient because we tolerate all this shit that's happening around us. But one of the things, South Africa, we've always asked, what is it that brings us together? And I think slowly but surely we're realizing that old, young, rich, poor, black, white, everybody is coming together around the fact that we fucking hate politicians. That's happening. So if there's one thing that I've noticed about everybody in this country is everybody's full up to here with these politicians. I mean, I don't know anyone who's running around now except maybe Adrian Basson of News 24 saying we love Cyril Ramaphosa. Yeah. I don't know anyone who's saying that anywhere.
No, we're running out of those white people.
He's like
they're perplexed. They're perplexed. They're flabbergasted. They can't believe. They never thought. I mean, it's the billionaire who's gonna come save us. He's not gonna steal. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. When people start coming to you saying they miss Jacob Zuma, you must know it's going down. It's going down, and it's just decision making. Honestly, there's nothing else.
All right, well, listen, dude. I mean, I do. Oh, okay, he's gone. I do agree with him. Like people. I just wish people kind of. I suppose it's one thing to say people should read X, Y, and Z book, but it's almost become a bit of a meme that George Orwell's Animal Farm. You remember in Animal Farm, the pig takes over, and then it says when all the animals say, "Hey, but aren't we all equal?" The pig goes, but some are more equal than others. That's basically the most valuable lesson in the whole thing is that. And once the pig takes over, everybody suffers because this pig only looks after itself, which is the case in almost every country in the world. It's not just a South African story. I mean, Dave, you've traveled the world. If I gave you a free pass to go anywhere, I still wouldn't leave here, despite the fact that there are lots of reasons that I'm pissed off, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I love this place. I love the people. I love the energy. I love the fact that we have, this incredible kind of feeling about South Africa,
Yeah.
which is very difficult to explain to people who don't know it. And I wouldn't leave because I believe like we all own a little piece of this special
Yeah.
place. But if you had to go somewhere, where's the best place you've been?
I'm trying to even think in terms of better than South Africa.
No, just a place that you thought,
Okay.
I could live here. I mean, like you've traveled to North America, Australia, Asia. You've been all over the place.
At this point, I'd look for another African country like Rwanda or Ghana. But my wife's dad was Greek, so I'm actively looking into my sort of European passport.
Well, I mean,
story just to at
Greek
least
islands.
work in Europe, and then I'd still wanna definitely live in South Africa. But here's the thing, and this is where I'm going with what we've allowed, right? So we've done the ADT, private security, blah, whatever security company people belong to, the private schooling, da 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 da. The next thing is you and I are also now going to need private bodyguards and bulletproof vests, and so now we're gonna start paying for another human being to go everywhere you go, right? Go to a restaurant, drop your kids at school, and so if you can find a way, if every South African can find a way to make enough money to keep paying for their own parallel state and then ignore where the budget and the tax money is all going, then we can all have fun. We'll get an apartment in Cape Town. We'll go there when it's nice and hot, and summer when it starts raining there, you come back here, travel wherever, do shows, come back, because that's where we are at the moment, right? For me, crime is the first time I've considered or even thought of, do I really want to continue living here and bring up my kids here? My wife.
Did something happen to you, or did
no, but so much has happened around me or people I know or areas where I mean, I live in Kyalami, and where DJ Somebody was shot up. My 4-year-old said to my mom, "Isn't this where we drive when we go drop daddy at golf?" Or like my kids recognized where DJ Somebody was shot with 60 bullets, right? It's like 3-4 traffic lights it's 2 robots from the waterfall, supposed to be the most secure estate ever, right?
Yeah.
And we can go on about your AKAs, and that's the guy who was trying to have a wall built in Jozini because cars that are being stolen are being sent across the border via Jozini, KZN side. The guy was shot dead. It's like an anti-crime activist, taking out multiple bullets, literally maybe 4 or 5 days after the AKA thing. So you speak out against something or corruption or whatever, you better start preparing to either you could be attemptedly killed anytime, or then you've got so much security that you can afford to pay to literally
it's also like it's like old Andre de Ruyter when they put cyanide in his coffee because he was going to tell us who's cheating and stealing at ESCOM. Same thing.
Apparently they mix it with Retex or something, so you don't really take it. I think it's from one of the, I don't know if he's a Vitavit or somewhere else, but
wow.
And I was like, Jesus, like,
Hectic.
and I mean, it's chemistry, I've sat with some scientist guy who were saying how you can put poison in someone's jacket, and you just keep wearing this jacket over a certain time, and then you get sick, But the things people can do chemically with it's crazy stories, Gareth. This guy was like, let's say you check into a hotel room and someone's trying to take you out, and they could put something in a woman or a girl. Okay, you have sex with this woman, but whatever particular thing that you're gonna interact with, when it gets into your system, if you drink, and I'm making a silly example, you drink like a Tizer or you drink a soda, okay? Then it reacts and then you end up getting a heart attack. So you get back to your hotel room, coincidentally, you go to your fridge, there's no water, but there's this soda that's available. But for whatever reason, there's no water specifically. You're thirsty, you drink this random Rooibos, but then people would have gone so far to do their little chemical. You take this, get this in his system, you can give it to a woman and nothing happens to her. but you come in contact with this person, you go away, and then you take whatever reactant, and then we think you were killed or you died from a heart attack. Or, then you check Andre's case, whether he's got his own mug or, like simple thing.
No, dude.
Someone
and
just walks past and
amazing.
touches it. Look, or leaves whatever.
I do think we're giving like the powers that be too much credit. I mean, I was driving to an appointment yesterday and I saw someone go past in a blacked out car with 3 other cars with, that matte gray, that matte gray spray on a Land Rover.
People live with machine guns, like 12 people, 13 people working with one person. Almost
unbelievable. But I do think that you draw extra attention to yourself when you do that. Yeah. Which is kind of like you're asking for trouble. But also, I think a lot of these people are so incompetent. Like we only hear about the ones that they got right, but so many times they miss the mark. Because I mean, we must remember these are also people who have messed up everything that they've been given to do. So they're not very brilliant, competent, scheming, genius tacticians. They're actually quite useless.
So we spoke about this with a couple of friends, right? We all think government is incompetent, right? But if you think of the lens people go to design how they are going to steal money out of this department, or let's create this tender and this is how it's going to run, it's going to go to that person, and then they'll give us this amount of money. There's actually some thought and knowledge and effort that goes into how do we move this from here? How do we take that from there? But in our heads, you and I think, but they can't even fix a pothole. They can't even. It's just literally the choice that these people have made, that this is going to be our priority, or this is why we're here. There's very few people that are there to serve and change people's lives. Very, very few.
No,
and obviously, once you come up as one of those people, there's going to be an accident or some sort of a shooting. And because we look at all the people that have died and their history and their track record, you are either investigating someone or you are going to testify against that guy, or you are contesting for this position in your part against that person.
Simon says, I think they call that biohacking. They get your DNA and they make a specific poison that kills you.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit. I don't know if they're that good. Are they able to do that?
Oh, no, I was told this by a scientist, by a South African scientist. In fact, I was with Fat Joe when this guy that Joe knows was, telling us the stuff.
Yeah. Holy shit.
You know what's scary is that, like, I watch a lot of crime series, documentaries, and it's always in America. These crazy stories that you're talking about now, it's like, okay, that happens there. So I'm going to be alert if I ever move to America or the States. Now that you're telling me that it's happening in South and I'm just like, wait, what? Like
it's literally choice, effort. What are we going to prioritize, right? But I was going to say, the guy, because he said he saw that on Blacklist. So movies or television is about things that have happened or things that are going to happen. So it doesn't come from thin air. Whatever ideas that you see people do, you think of Star Trek and flying cars and cars that drive themselves and or like big ships being built because the world is gonna end and there's only so many thousand rich people that are gonna get on a boat. We are living in that. You got a few billionaires that can literally be like, peace, I'm out, I'm going to space.
And they go to the moon.
Yeah, literally,
what was that movie with the ships where everybody got on those 5 big
is it 2010 or something?
No, 2012.
2012.
I mean, the world was
but they're all
to
coming to Africa in their boat.
So you're safe, Gareth.
What I love is like the safest place is like the Drakensberg.
They're all coming to Africa.
Yeah, that was good.
It
was the best part of that movie.
I would love to see a sequel of that. Where they pack their ship and then wheels are gone, mirrors are gone.
Oh my God. So listen, you're doing a show, and this is at Emperor's on the 25th of March, right? Just give us a plug, because people have still got time to buy tickets.
So the funniest thing is, as soon as I post Blacks Only Comedy Show, 19 years later, there's always some 2,000 who says I'm racist, like a black
Jesus.
kid who's never even seen me on stage, never been to a comedy show in their lives, and start saying I'm racist. Isn't that racist? There's always one or two people that go, yeah, what if it was in reverse and I was doing a show called Whites Only? And I'm like, go ahead, you can do your own show. Let's see what happens.
They obviously have never ever seen this before. It's like, when they get upset about something that they've never seen before because it's been in a book for like 20 years, but they've never read the book.
Yes. And they've never, the irony of Blacks Only, there's times literally you always have white people in the front row, because my biggest struggle in my career with many of my black people is they don't buy tickets in advance, right? There's very few occasions that they do. So it doesn't matter. I can go on and talk about the show 3 months, 1 month, whatever. People will call me and tell me they're coming to the show and they're going to, and they don't, but they have planned that they're coming to the show, right?
So you end up with like white people.
Yeah. Then you got the white people with their organized diaries. Oh, when is the show? 25th. Oh, no, it's we're taking the kids to the Drakensberg. When is your next show? And then they'll go and immediately, literally, they hang up the phone with you and they go and book the next best ticket available. It's crazy. And the craziest thing, Gareth, Blacks Only comedy show sells from the front to the back. I mean, it's literally quite a relatively cheap comedy show for what you're getting. I think I have like 9-10 comedians on this lineup. It's costing me more money now to put up the show. Since COVID, you're paying twice for everything, but you have to charge almost nothing, or less. It's also becoming unsustainable. It just means I can't give the opportunities I used to give to other black comedians. Because I'm spending my money.
Who's on the lineup this year?
So Titi Chuma, young kid coming up quite nicely. One of my favorite comedians, Sfiso Nene from KZN. He won So You Think You're Funny like maybe 13 years ago or something, season 1. Siyase, one of the funniest guys, Xhosa guy from East London, kills on stage. These people kill on stage. I've got Kagiso Keiji Mohari, based in Cape Town. One of my favorite comics. There's a new kid called Vafa. He's viral a lot on TikToks and what does those skits with. He did this skit with a guy who comes and robs a guy, like a Muslim guy, with like a 9mm, asking for directions but carrying a gun and trying to threaten. And then the guy takes out like an AK-47 and starts showing him where to go using the gun to give him directions. It goes quite viral on TikTok a couple of times. Very funny, young up and coming comedian. DJ Jaws, DJ Jaws has been DJing at Blacks Only since 2004.
Jesus, that's amazing.
And it's crazy. So 2004, 2005. So the reason, obviously, I call the show Blacks Only was a rip-off and take on Swartes Net, Blankes Net from apartheid, where black people couldn't go, blah, blah, blah. And people don't understand this, but I had to have a show literally called Blacks Only so that I can get black people to come to comedy shows. And black comedians can perform in whatever language they want, although the shows are still like 98, 95% in English.
But again, you have to explain this thing to people because they have no historical context for this stuff. You're not actually trying to exclude people. You're actually you have to give permission to other people to come. Because
Kevin Kelly is on the lineup. Chris Forrest has been, Conrad Koch. So literally everyone is on the lineup, but I do have maybe 15% non-black people coming to the show. But the whole thing was literally, how do we get black comedians? I was literally, I used to perform to just white audiences from 1998,
You're the one. You're the one person I've wanted to ask this for a long time. I mean, you've seen comedy change completely in the last 25 years. I mean, you've watched how it was tiny when you started. There were maybe 3 or 4 comedians, and you were the only black guy. And comedy was something people did in addition to something else. I mean, there were no permanent, professional comedians back in those days. Do you remember?
You will laugh. There was a time the biggest news for us in the industry was one comedian, Martin Jonas, had made 100,000 Rand that month from corporate gigs. And it was like,
that's so much money.
All the comedians were like, what? How much? Because, we're getting $700 for being in this club tonight, or $900. You know, I'm in my polo player trying to go pick up maybe 12 grand at a corporate gig or 7.5, 10 grand. And people are like, yo, Martin Jonas had this gig, that gig, and then the club, he apparently made more. He made 100,000 this month. It was like, so, you know, literally, Gareth, I would walk into comedy club. I'll be the only black person, or it'll be me and the waiters that are the black people. Right? If I went to the show with Simphiwe, there'll be 2 black people. My first show in Joburg, when I moved to Joburg, July 2000. 4,000 people, Gallagher Estate, 5FM, Heavyweight Comedy Jam, myself, Barry Hilton, Mel Miller, Al Rogers, I forget who else. Not only was I the only black on the lineup, the only black people in the venue, I had met Maria Matloy and Kutlwano for my first time ever in a Grahamstown show at the end of 1998, 99, took their details, told them, hey guys, I'm coming to Joburg, 2000. Those were the only 2 other people in Gallagher Estate at that time. This was in 2000. Literally 4,000 people, you know? And so literally I was also at a point where I had all this material that I wanted to do, but I wanted to perform it to black people, you know, because I wanted to talk about part of my own experiences and being black and growing up black and in the township. And then, which I guess maybe where your question will end up, is there's also things you can't translate. As much as I can perform to any audiences in the world, there are jokes and things and sayings that you really can translate into another language, right? So then you look at comedy today, you've got your Skumba filling up venues of 2,000-3,000 people going on tour, but he can perform like 90%, 95% in Zulu, and he'll sell out shows to middle class black people that are doing very, very well, etc., etc. So it's not even about it has to be a lower LSM for him to perform in a vernacular language. It's literally people that have chosen that, you know what, we want to listen to this comedian, we want to go watch Sfiso. You know, he can literally go on for an hour if he wants in Zulu. Celeste, you know, CSA in some places. And this is where then you come to a blacks only, and comedians know that, okay, here I'm probably dealing with this type of people, or there's this mix. This is the way I'm going to go today, right? I can go to the Free State and do a show in South Soto to like 4,000 or 5,000 people. Even the white people in the audience would never have a complaint or come out and say, oh, we didn't get. So for me, that's where
they probably speak Sotho, you know?
Exactly. And this is where, for me, then the evolution of where we came from and where we're going. We're going to have a lot of fun with how there's so many South African comedians that are literally building industries amongst themselves, becoming businesses, becoming performers. And they don't have to perform in English, right? If they choose to, they can. If they're at a corporate gig and I mean, I always perform for whoever is in the room at that time. My stand-up comedy career I've kept it very simple. So if I had prepared my set thinking I'm going to a comedy festival in Soweto, and then there's a bus full of tourists, white foreign tourists that are now in this
you have
place
to change it
room
on the fly, right?
I start talking and writing for those people, right?
Amazing.
And that's what also then South African comedy allows us to do. Is that it's almost like there's another parallel industry between what you're seeing and the guys you're seeing doing corporate gigs and then there's like a whole comedians that you may have never heard of that have like filling up venues in KZN, you know, that are doing some corporate gigs back home in KZN, and they're literally just performing in their mother tongue.
I think
it's amazing and it's beautiful.
Dude, I mean, again, I want you to take some of the credit for this, because this wouldn't have happened if you hadn't entered the comedy scene when you did, and you were there before everyone else. And I just think it's nice after 25 years to take some of the credit for this, because you deserve it. I mean, like, you've been.
I'll take it from you, man. Thank you very much.
Dude, without you, I promise you, comedy would not be where it is today. And thank fuck for it. I mean, it would have been, you know, the same old.
And the crazy thing, Gareth, is I paid for, like, I literally paid for this industry, right? Never had sponsors from government. I've never had commercial sponsors. Maybe 1 or 2 shows in like 19 years, almost 100 shows selling out. But the name Blacks Only comedy show, me looking for a sponsor, I talk to this excited black brand manager or marketing manager, and then they go back to their boss or the owners of the money, and they're like, "You want to sponsor what? With who? With where? What? It's called what?"
Trust me.
So
anything I do, you try and get some of this corporate money. They're not in a hurry. Hey, they also they'd rather like back some TikTok influencer who's doing a dance video.
And also, if you can find a place, fill black people in there, give them alcohol, get a DJ. That's 90% of sponsorship in South Africa.
Tracy wants to know, do you still have the cow suit?
I don't know what happened. I think it might be at Red Pepper Pictures. It's possible. It's possible it's still there. I had to wear that thing hot, 4 ways William Nicol, that cow suit, when we were shooting that opening sequence and running around on William Nicol in a cow suit to shoot that opening sequence.
All right, listen. There's a story. There's a story we have to talk about in the news. This is quite a big deal. The SPCA have said that there is a big cat on the loose in Hennops River. It's like between Pretoria and Rustenburg, sort of that area. And this, now we had tigers. Do you remember we had a tiger on the loose in the south of Joburg?
Tigers. Yeah.
Correct.
We've had two missing tigers in like 2-3 weeks.
Right. And now there's a missing lion. So this lion is on the loose somewhere. It's been spotted.
I've seen this lion before.
Don't say that. don't say as you're coming here. You just are like, baby, how you doing? Please.
So, it's been seen near the Hennops hiking trail along the R511. People have said, keep your children and your pets indoors if you live in that area. It's on the loose. And of course, people are talking about all the other big cats. The SPCA says they're working with the Tswana SPCA who remain on alert. And they say it's obviously a lot of people are trying to make light of the situation and joking that perhaps someone is playing a game of Jumanji, but it's actually a serious issue, they say.
So let
rescue
me tell you
teams are monitoring the situation closely.
How I know about this lion that's missing or chilling somewhere.
Yeah.
So for the first time in my life, right? So I play golf every Sunday morning, you know? And for the first time in my life, I decided to skip golf this past Sunday and go hiking for the first time ever. Where? Hennops.
Oh no.
So Monday, my wife sends me this thing that says there's a lion that's missing around Hennops Trail. I was finished. I was like, wow. I was like, wow.
Dude. So you could have been eaten by the lion.
I probably would have sat down and had a chat with a lion. I think me and lions or other animals will connect somewhere spiritually. Look, I don't know. It might still bite me in real life, but I think somewhere in another universe, me and the lion will be like, Chief, come on, chill. Let's go to KFC or something. You know, let's talk about this. But this is what I'm saying, Gareth. You can fill up. You start filling up potholes for yourself. Okay, you've got your private electricity fence, whatever at your house. You got your solar. How does a lion go missing in this country with all the expertise and money and resources? How do two tigers in the space of 2 weeks?
All right, but let's be fair. That's not the government's fault. You know that.
I'm not saying it's the government's fault, but it's
just the Wild West. Like what?
No,
we have
that's what I'm saying. Everyone has a job in this country, but the things are breaking down so badly, Gareth. I mean, if you want to take a license or get a license, remember you got driving school owners that marched to the Department of Traffic in Louwspreek, asking the officials not to increase the bribes to 2,000 rand and keep them at 1,700 rand. These people were outside marching, saying the bribes we pay to you, can we agree on a discount? Okay. So guys, you want to renew your disc, you take the line, which for me was actually very safe. Sunny Hill Post Office. I have to give shout out. I know the CEO that's working there on the turnaround thing. So you got people that Nom Kita, I'll remember her name, Nomkita something. And
because I go to Sunning Hill Post Office because Busi is my contact there. She tells me when I go.
Yeah, so Nomkita Mona is the CEO, and Sunning Hill Post Office was amazing. But I was in a queue with someone who first drove to Lone Hill. Their system was down. Then they went to Bryanston. And in Bryanston, they said their printer cartridge is finished and they're waiting for a new. I promise you. Then she drove to Sunny. That's how we met, and that's how we ended up having this chat, right? So, but then I first went to Postnet, where you can now pay them to go and renew your license. And this is exactly what I'm saying. Now you're going to have to pay for a bodyguard. Now you're paying a Postnet to go and renew your license, because it could take you an hour, it could take you 10, 15 minutes if you do it yourself, right? Now we have to look out for our pets and children because there's a lion. Who do you even pay to?
No, you see, the issue with South Africa is that one abnormal thing happens and then it becomes the norm. Like we had a tiger.
But this is where I'm going with.
Just roaming around, chilling like a villain. And then now that's the norm. Like that's the thing. Like every other week we're hearing about, oh, there's another one. There's another. Now there's a lion. Gareth, no. Like now we don't even want to leave the house.
Guys,
what kind of a country is this? What kind of a country is this? You can have a lion as a pet.
But this is what I'm saying. There's someone somewhere who's, someone or neighbor is supposed to, hey, sorry, I think I'm hearing a lion next door, but I'm not sure, but don't say it's me. Okay. And then there must be some sort of someone who comes out, or maybe you send a drone first, and you're like, okay, definitely there's a lion here. Let's check if this guy has got a permit for a lion, or whatever it is that you need, or a license for a lion in your ID book.
Can you imagine the Department of Government? Imagine the government department that issues a license for you to keep a lion. Whoever that department is, I'm pretty sure that there's no one there if you phone them now.
But this is where I'm going. We all have jobs to do. We all have jobs. There's a guy who's supposed to, Gareth, if you have a traffic light that's been down for like 2-3 weeks, okay, a few potholes on the same road, there is someone who works at the city of Joburg or at Joburg Roads Agency who drives past that road every single day, whether it's a political party member or a council member or an ordinary person that works in a government department. And they can't even say, colleagues, I was driving on this road. Whose job is it to go and check or fix why is this traffic light working, or was it hit in a car accident, or there's one that they've replaced in Caroline, but the old robot is still down on the side of the road. So picking up litter and cutting grass in this country has become unattainable.
You sound a lot like me, but you also sound a lot like Helen Ziller with your moaning about this.
I hope I'm going to make money with my moaning.
I was talking to Pumi on the show yesterday about exactly this. Like, we have to have enough self-respect to be able to start fixing things. You mentioned like your old town of Kroonstad. They've got the cleanest town in South Africa award, but it's because people have actually got up off their asses and done it, right?
Yeah.
I love that. So, I want to focus on that stuff because we can make it better.
Solutions.
Yeah. Like, I want to find ways for us to fix shit because it irritates all of us. Don't tell me that white people care and black people don't. That's bullshit. Don't tell me that black people care and white people don't. That's also bullshit.
We're in the same boat now.
Don't tell me it's only rich people. Poor people also want to have better fucking circumstances. They don't want to be poor. Nobody sits and goes, now I've reached an acceptable level of poverty. No one ever in the history of the world. So let's roll up our sleeves and fucking start fixing shit.
But at the same time, then we need to do something about our votes, or the same people that you've seen doing that. Let's put them in government office.
Step number 1, hide your grandmothers next year for the elections. Let's do that. Step number 1, just don't let them vote. Like, let the old people not vote. That's my advice.
I mean,
because
you know what, Simphiwe, you remember Muzi Kuzwayo was on the show a while ago, and he said exactly this. He said, unfortunately, sometimes you have to wait for the old generation to die because they keep making bad decisions on all sides, right? Because they want things that are completely different. Plus, they're not really planning for the future because they've only got a few years to go. So they're not thinking too much about tomorrow. They're thinking about yesterday.
So so that's one, right? And then you've got locally. So remember, there's so many structures. You've got national government, you've got provincial government, you've got local government, right? That's why then Western Cape, or in this case, Cape Town, like it's like a dream at the moment.
It works.
Whether it's just Cape Town city center or that piece, or the townships, they're still dead and whatever, and the squatter
The fact that we just have that working part.
But this is where I'm going. There's this part that's working, okay? And all we have to do is replicate wherever we are, which then means the councillor that you are voting for locally should be that guy who's every day waking up and filling up potholes and calling that there's a robot not working. Guys, let's go clean the street, brings the black rubbish bags, blah, blah, blah. So then locally, you at least have the resources that are supposed to locally make this park feasible for kids to play. It's safe, the security, visibility. Yeah, the local cops know they can patrol, or maybe there's some soup kitchen or coffee for them from a local business, blah, blah. So we have to build our own local sort of communities, but keep in mind that we can't keep paying for this thing ourselves. So the next elections, how do we get this thing going with then the budgets that are available for us to do this thing, right? So you almost have to cut the elephant bit by bit. So
yes.
And then obviously provincially, locally, then you start saying, oh, I think Panyaza or whoever is not so bad. So provincially, I'll vote this way. Locally, I'm going to vote this way. That's being practical for me. Which then, if the ANC is doing a great job in whatever province, I don't know, maybe there'll be a new province that we find where there's all this amazing.
Doing a good job.
Yeah, you know that in the Western Cape, these ones seem to be doing a good job. In the Northern Cape, maybe Bantu, Lomisa, and UDM will do a better job. That's really how we need to think about how do we fix this country. But us here being stuck, and black people have this fear, white people or white DA party is going to bring back apartheid. And the biggest fear is people say, apparently they're going to take our grants if we don't keep the ANC in here and we put someone else, or we put a white party or the DA. Because that's the narrative. That's
that's what they definitely sell them. With my grandmother, she'll be like, I'm not going to vote for anybody else but ANC because, the grant, the T-shirts. And I'm like, whoa, sister. Like, can we just, they're not doing anything. But no, like they, and it's like when they do these, so where we stay, the Chris Hani grave is not too far from us. So they'll have like almost like a yearly memorial thing, and it's a big thing, right? Mm-hmm. So my grand goes there every year, and every year they spill the same thing to be like, vote for us, change is happening, because it's only predominantly older people that attend those things. So there is a bit, I would say, an indoctrination that if they don't vote for them, then things are going to go down south. And it's like, but we're already in the pits of hell.
So that boils down to education. That boils down to education. There's a lot of people that don't know.
I just want to point out, it's not just education. It's also, and Simphiwe, it's not even indoctrination. It's like a bit of it's a vague threat. It's like, we will take stuff away from you if you don't. And the politicians play this game. They go, can't guarantee you're going to get that social grant or your pension that you earned. We might not give it to you if you don't do this. And then, if you're an old person who believes, like, these old people are also the ones who fall for these Nigerian scammers. They're also the ones who fall for the I've fallen in love with you on the internet stuff, because they're gullible. They believe what they read. They were trained in a different era.
You need to keep them home, take their phone, cut the data or cut the internet.
Lie to them about when the voting day is. Like, do something, guys. Like, just like, I already know with my grand next year, I say, I know it's really great to go with her to the voting thing because then I don't stand in the queue, but I've made it a mission. I'm not telling her the date. I'm locking the house. I'm just going to be like, I'll be back in a few hours, going to vote, coming back. And I'm like, who's a friend?
What says we must give them sleeping tablets on the day.
Yeah. Yonda says in Cape Town, we have access to councillors of the DA, and you have My Smart City to report any faulty issue. It is fixed within a day or two. So tell your councillor to get off that. Wow.
We should mention Yonda Ndiki is black. We should, for the purpose of what we're talking about. Because the
John
other
is talking about an
argument
app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's possible. This is what I'm saying. All you have to do is choose, Gareth. You literally have to choose. I'm in this office today. What am I doing today? Is that I'm going to procurement to find out where's the money going, who's doing toilet paper, who's doing that tender spec. I need to see them. Or I go and walk the streets and go, Gareth, I have billionaire friends who drive from Hyde Park to Harties, and he comes and says, I counted 9 out of 16 robots not working. There's one who's got a collection of where potholes are in Johannesburg, in Hyde Park. They are friends with the politicians. They know these guys. They sit with them. Yeah. And the funniest thing is, every politician in government says, when you are in government, it's not easy to do this, that. When they're out, they tell us this.
Yeah, that's no good. I mean, then we should know in advance so we don't have to vote for them. I don't want people who say I can't.
It's like you building a house and walking out and locking yourself out of the house. Now your other option is to break back into the house, but now you must first go change legislation that says if you left your key inside the house by mistake, you are allowed to break in. That's where then you go to the state of emergency that we have at ESCOM. But if you dare do what makes sense and break that small window and send a small baby to open the door, if you dare, because you are dying outside and you're about to get robbed, if you dare break a window to get back into your own house, there'll be an investigation, there'll be a commission, you'll be suspended with full pay. There'll be someone acting in your position who will undo everything that you've done. And that's where the money and the resources.
Listen to what Baldwin says. I'm in Soshanguve and I've been reporting a leak on my smart city app for a year. I've been getting reports that the leak has been fixed, but guess what? Dolol.
Yeah, but it's also in Soshanguve.
You see, that's the issue, Chief.
the issue is not the app. If you take a walk, maybe walk to Mabupani or the R80, report the same fault again in Smart City, it might pick up. Or just drive to a wide area, report the fault, log in the address when they arrive, and then say to them, no, guys, let's drive to actually where I want to show you where the leak is.
Oh, please.
We all have to do something and come up with solutions.
They don't fix things in any areas. I've got a pothole right outside my house here that everybody in my neighborhood has reported. So it happens everywhere. Simphiwe, come back with a Boerewors roll and an ANC t-shirt after voting and you'll be forgiven. That's all you need to do.
It's fine. My grandmother, I have a dug. I'll just take that out, put it in a bag, and I'll just gift it for her on that day. But yeah, I've made up my mind. She's not voting next year.
She has no idea this is coming, huh?
I've taken it upon myself. I'm being a good citizen, and I'm just gas.
But you know what's also taking us down, Gareth? Anybody can start a political party, so don't be surprised when I do.
That's the ballot thing has like 50,000 parties.
So what happens is you've got the ruling party or top 3 parties that have whatever percentage, and then you've got 100 other parties that all have one seat. But they all want to become the mayor, the president, the minister, and at whatever level of government. And they are not willing, all of them are not willing to get together and go, guys, there's 40 of us. So we're going to agree that Gareth can run for the mayor position, we'll vote for him. I'll run for the municipal manager position, we'll vote for me. Simphiwe will run for the speaker, we'll vote for him. After this term or after this long, David will become the mayor, Gareth will become, we all agree because we are all trying to deliver services. The problem is all of them are not willing to do that, the same politicians. So then you've got this fragmented votes where there'll always be one party that's got so much. Then they just pick the ones they need to get their majority vote, they do a coalition, and then everything goes back to normal, which is our normal, is horrible.
But it's ego, because if everybody could put aside their own personal ambitions for just a second to let someone rule and let someone take control and let someone issue instructions and be at the top. Because listen, it's not fun at the top. I mean, when you are at the top, you are responsible and accountable. And this is what goes missing so much in this country. I mean, it's like no one is accountable for anything. I was talking to someone last night, and he said he went to his friend's house, and his friend's dad was like the CEO of Transnet for a while or something, like lots and lots of money. He said they walked in. There's a black guy. He says they walked in to this guy's house, and there's a big grand piano in the entrance hall, but no one in the house plays the piano. It's all like a big, like, what do we spend our money on shit? And again, like, no one's accountable. You know, all those guys who've ripped Eskom and SAA and everything off over the years, all those people who've taken millions and millions and millions of rands out, they all still live here. They all still have houses and cars, and
because
they're
comfortable. Because they can afford alternative power, security, personal security.
But my point is that
private school.
They stole that money, but they just carry on. Like you and I, if we don't pay our tax tomorrow, we'll go to jail.
All day, every day. So you get SMS's final demand from SARS. I mean, you know, you saw my set when I was performing, and I wasn't even joking, right? So this is what I'm saying again, Gareth. Priority is, what did Gareth say? What did David Gow say on Gareth's show? Go check his taxes and check if he's got outstanding. Just go find something. Maybe there's a girl that he had an affair with or cheated on his wife. Maybe we can get a rape thing going. The priority and time and resources will be available and made available immediately.
Well, Congo Chris says, we promised to Shambok the bottom of the feet of one Eskom fat cat for every hour of load shedding. Vote Shambok party.
I have a lot of trust and faith in new Minister of Electricity, Sputla.
He's a vibe. Have you not seen his videos?
I have a lot of trust and faith in him. I mean, he did his job, I think, when he was mayor of Tshwane. Before that, I think he was CEO of the Joburg market, and you know, master's degrees in this, that, engineer, very practical guy. You know, a few times that I've met and sort of engaged with him. But obviously, then the politics of the ANC, you are in this position. There's already the next guy who wants to be the next mayor. Then they start fighting you, right, in the same party. That one comes in, changes everything. Next election, the next one. The voters go, what are you going to do for me? I want to be a councillor. I don't know anything about being a councillor, but if you give me that position, I'll bring my votes. Next, start again from scratch. So there's not even it doesn't matter who becomes the president or the next mayor this is the 20-30 year program or the NDP National Development Plan, and we're sticking to it. They can't even do that amongst themselves.
No, they can't. But I'm going to have to take a break. We're going to be back in a second. CliffCentral.com. Friday morning. We got a lot to get to still and plenty of good fun. David Cow is with us. It is Friday, everybody. The weekend is upon us. Hooray. You ready for a nice, relaxing weekend? Are you going hiking or golfing, you old white man? What are you doing, Dave?
Now I'm going to go golfing on Sunday.
At your own risk.
I try and manage my schedule. It's a very... definitely come hell, high water, sink, or literally earthquake. If the golf course is still intact,
you'll be there.
Some of us will be teeing off.
So I had a very great time at Uncancelled. Unati killed it. Eugene killed it. Gareth killed it. It was nice to have everybody around live in the Cliff Central house for the first time.
My favorite takeaway from Uncancelled with Unati was when she got honest about the dating scene.
Just Teddy dropped off platters the night of Uncancelled. They were gone the next morning. I know Labang took them because she's always eating in the office. You go around any corner of this place, Labang's eating somewhere. She always takes something home for the kids. I know it.
So the person who I think stole the platters, easily, Labang. She has 5 kids to feed. She's always eating with mash or just somewhere in...
Bitch,
Hey, whoever is accusing me of stealing the food, what proof do you have? Where are the receipts? Can we see some slips? Obviously, there's not going to be any receipts because I did not steal any food. Yes, I've got 5 kids. I've got a whole soccer team to feed, but I did not steal the food.
So it's my birthday month, and every year I drop a birthday list, and some things on my birthday list include, paying up for my car. I don't want to be in debt anymore, guys. Buying me a camera, taking me to Cape Town, Dubai. Come on, guys. I mean, it's easy things in this economy.
You're simple in this economy. You want somebody to pay off your car.
It's the decade that just won't go away, mainly because we won't let it. It's That 80s Show, the show that taste forgot. Every Friday, Paolo and Dory remember the 80s. Movies, music, fashion, wham, beachies, and the half. If it was acceptable in the 80s, it will get you cancelled today. That 80s Show, new episode every Friday, live or as a podcast on cliffcentral.com.
All right. It is, Friday morning. It's the 10th of March. We've got David Gao with us. We've got Simphiwe Tetra. We've got the whole shooting match this morning, and everything's going down. We also want to hear from you. You can call us 083-295-5769 if you want to give us a call. If you want to drop into the comments section, you can do that too. We want to hear from you. It's Friday. The weekend is here. Very nice. All right, so I want to ask Dave and Simphiwe, and you could join in on this if you want to. Apparently, Yeezys, which the shoes, have gone up in value. They've become collector's items. So for anybody who thought like this was the end of the Kanye West saga, it's not going to end anytime soon. This shoe, which is on the screen right now, is apparently way more valuable than it was while they were still selling them through Adidas. 30% rise in price since the sportswear giant parted with Mr. West over his anti-Semitic comments last year. Adidas said they're unsure what to do with the £1 billion worth of shoes left in their association with West. It is amazing to hear.
I'm not surprised.
They've settled for selling the stock for $500 million a few days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
A bit of a write-off. I don't know who gets how much money or who loses what. I don't know if Kanye gets something.
I heard they're going to actually make a deal with him in terms of bringing him back in some way.
I know if you Google, they've definitely made some sort of a settlement for $500 million around whatever stock or shoes that were left and blah blah blah. But I don't think Kanye is just gonna disappear and go away. He might not be in the system anymore or be liked by, whichever ruling powers or superpowers that he used to report to. But he's got enough resources. In fact, I think he must move to Africa.
Oh, he said he's coming to South Africa with his wife, his new wife.
He must move to South Africa, number one, because it doesn't matter how much money he has left, he will be a billionaire when he gets here. That honestly doesn't matter how many dollars he has left. I think we're now at 18 rand, 14 or towards 19 rand against the dollar. And then he needs to just reset.
You can buy the whole of Joburg.
Yeah. And remember, there's the 1.3 billion people in Africa. Probably 70% of them have no idea what Kanye said and why he's being cancelled.
No, they don't care.
So you know what I mean? So he needs advice and good people around him. That's one of the first things he needs to actually.
Someone here has asked something. Like Simphiwe said in passing, his new wife. Who's his new wife? How come I don't know about this?
It's been
Who's
on
that?
the low. It's basically a chick that looks like Kim Kardashian. It's a copy and paste. It's a dupe of Kim Kardashian. And he's gotten married to this chick. We don't really know much about her, but it seems like she's keeping him at bay because he's not doing these crazy stuff. And he like even in an interview, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna move to South Africa with my new wife," and that's all he said. Like literally, and then people are like, wait, you're moving to Africa? What's going on with Africa? And he was just like, yeah, like that's where I want to be. That's where I'm going.
He first needs to pick a country because you can't also just get on a plane and say I'm going to Africa. It's not like a taxi, you know what I mean? That can, where do you drop you? Drop me in Ghana. But the taxi is actually going to Nigeria or Kenya, right? So he needs to actually first pick a country and decide where in Africa. Then some of us will tell him, you better take your own road if that's the country you're picking. This year we've got a road with potholes, but if you pick that one, take your own tank that you're going to be driving in that country. Stay in your bulletproof. So he needs to do some more research and say, okay, I found
Listen to this.
I'm going to go to this country.
Gabrielle says she knows someone who trades these shoes. He buys them and sells them for a high price. He makes like 15,000 Rand for one pair of Yeezys.
I'm not surprised.
It's a big business, this shoe thing. There's a shop in Rosebank, apparently, where sneakers are like 30,000 Rand.
Yes, but the thing is, so I read like a week or two ago about like this phenomenon on like people buying celebrity clothing, and the whole thing is once they have like created this community. So with Kanye West, it's almost like it's either you agree with him or don't agree with him, and because people love him and he's been in the industry for so long, whatever he does, the diehards are always going to support him. So the fact that they were like, yeah, we're dropping him and we're done, it's just made people want his product or the Yeezys more. And then they also did like a study with like Beyonce and her Ivy Park with Adidas and why they had like expected like a $15 billion revenue and it's gone left. And that's because they feel like Beyonce is not like someone who's created this community where it's like she's a superstar, she's a performer, but we don't know her personality, we don't know her thoughts on certain things, so people don't relate to that, and it's super expensive. So why are you buying something super expensive when you don't know? Beyonce is there and I can't reach her, I can't talk to her, whereas Kanye West feels like he's one of the guys and you're like, even my boys say this crazy thing, I'm with him, I agree, I don't agree, let's support the boy.
But it's when you're at a certain level of fame and management that comes with it, where then they start even managing who you're dating. You know what I mean? Guys, don't comment on this. Just give back the $1 million to Gaddafi's people or to Libya. Walk away. No comment from the artist. Yeah, she did whatever private part. Then that thing is gone. Taken care of, out of the media. So there's that shell that
levels.
Some people exist in this vacuum in this world that they live in. And then there's where you start talking, whether you're Kanye West or a Dave Chappelle, where you have to make your own comments or, comment back on what joke you told, and now you're being accused of 1, 2, 3. So it can't just disappear and there's a small statement from your manager, So there's the relationship between you and the fan type thing, or you and as a business and the industry. And some artists make those choices where I'm going to come here, I sing, I change my dress after 2 songs, I sing again, I take 4 pictures, you tell us with who, and then we're out.
And this is, this is why you hear about these people going to places like Kazakhstan or whatever, and they will sing for this terrible dictator who's like, his people are living in fear every day. But they'll go there, they'll take the money and they'll run. I don't know if that's, I don't really care what a comedian
I would do those things, especially, in me as a comedian, even in the audience, I don't know who's there. I sell my tickets publicly, right?
Right.
You don't care. You Google my name or Blacks Only Comedy Show, you can buy a ticket. I'm not going to vet you. Equally, if you call me and says you're having a private party, how much do I charge? I rock up. I don't know who's coming to your party or your house. Some gigs I'll ask just from formalities, who's the CEO, board members, Please don't mention that. Don't talk about, hey, try and stay away from, for those papers are out. But if you said to me, yo, man, I'm having my 50th at my house, 40 guests, dinner table. Please come through. Right? When I get there, I don't know who your friends are. I don't know if you're friends with the Minister of Electricity or the governor.
Right. Yeah.
No. Right? So equally, I think half the time, especially when people are at this, I mean, I don't know in terms of managing your diary, etc. In most times, you get a call, you know you've got a gig at this place, there's a year end here, there's a thing here. You don't sit and literally read who's this one, who owns this, who's going there, where's the payment coming from. You literally just, some people don't even know. I spent some time with Kevin at people when they were here. And one of the comedians, Joey Walls, that I met, I was introduced by another friend in the States. And yeah, like, so what happened from Joburg? Now we go to Abu Dhabi, and then there's, is it Dubai? Is it Abu Dhabi? So literally these people are on such autopilot. You finish this show, you're getting on a plane, you land in another country in the Middle East, there's maybe 3 shows. They landed Wednesday, went to show in Cape Town. Thursday is asking me, are you coming to the show tonight? I'm like, but there's no show tonight. It's Thursday because I'm doing another thing with Nelson Mandela Foundation where Kevin Hart will be. And oh yeah, you're right. The show is Friday, right? And then you got jet lag in the mix. But depending on your setup, how you manage yourself, or how your business or you as an entity are managed, then you're either doing a shoe with Adidas, but you really love Nike or Batu, if it was up to you. But the money is talking.
The audience don't care, really. I mean, the people who say they care, they don't care enough. And here's the problem. It's like when Michael Jackson was doing terrible things to children, right? I was still listening to his music, and I still love his music. I don't approve of the way he behaves in his private time. And I don't know what the dictator of Kazakhstan is doing. But if he asks me to come and MC his daughter's wedding, I'm there. You know what I mean?
I'll come with you. I'll intro you.
And by the way, the people who say they have a problem with that, they'll find a problem with everything. Eventually, they'll have no one to entertain them. They'll have no one to listen to, no music to dance to. It'll be a problem after a problem. Who the hell are you that you're so morally virtuous that you never deal with anybody who's shitty? Ever. I mean, that's ridiculous.
And for me, my thing is between who's getting rehabilitated, who's trying to change their lives, why are you doing this? Because some people have learned their lessons. Someone put a thing in a WhatsApp group of about 4 or 5, I think, serial killers, rapists, yada yada. They've almost done like 25 years, and they're due to like a parole hearing, right? And I was like, send them to a shooting squad or a firing squad, because there are other people that in society, we've already paid their food and accommodation for 25 years. These people, 3 meals a day, they can get the best education while they're there. But there are people, Gareth, there's no way those people are going to go back to society and be like, oh no, I no longer eat people. Or they dump them in the river. Oh no, that I slipped there, but I'm okay now.
Oh man.
Then you put a student who NAFSA's put money in their account by mistake, and within a few months, she's already convicted, she's already sentenced. But you got people that have been on trial for stealing billions that are still on trial.
It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right.
So many things wrong, man.
So apparently, Simphiwe has found, we're talking about products like the Yeezys, but Simphiwe found a pair of automated ear cleaning headphones. Listen to this. So I'll show you a picture of them. These things, Dave thinks this is ridiculous. So you put these things on, and they will actually clean your ears at the same time. Oh, I don't know if I like this.
And do you guys want to take a guess on how long it will take for your ears to get clean? Just a quick guess.
30 seconds.
Close. 35 seconds. So you put this on, and then there's
and you put water in them and them.
You don't do anything. All you do is put it on, and then you start the machine, and it will kind of like put some water in there, and then there'll be some suction to get the earwax out, and within 35 seconds, your ears are clean. And this particular headphones, they're kind of new in the market, so it will set you back about like $2,700 US. To get, and then they're disposable. So after you're done, you get rid of them, and boom shaka boom, your ears are clean in 35 seconds. What are you guys' thoughts?
10,000 rand. It's about 50,000 rands.
So no, it's about 48,000 rand for this pair of disposable headphones. I'm sorry, that is
they're disposable.
ridiculous.
Yes. That's very important.
For a second, I considered them. I see an ENT maybe every 2 months. For a second, I considered them, but not disposable. I mean, I can keep the wax for like a month and dump them, or
what does it cost you to go to
pick it up to come pick up the...
How much is an ear, nose, and throat specialist appointment? It's what, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 rand.
1,500
right.
If it's your first time, and etc.
As compared with what, 48,600 rand? No, not a chance.
Man, disposable. I mean, come on, you know what I mean. They had me going until the disposable part. Look, we might as well start making pap smear giving panties.
Oh.
And I hope there's no woke auntie saying that I shouldn't have mentioned.
Well, I think we are close. So, like, I also saw it's new trends that are happening, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on to the world? So, Gareth, we all know like BBLs, right? That's a thing.
Is that the bum thing?
Yeah, the Brazilian butt lift, right? Okay. We all know about it. People are doing it. One of the most dangerous surgeries out there. Women are now getting a BB glow. So it's a semi-permanent foundation on their faces. This is a procedure that they do. And basically the makeup doesn't come off for like 4 months. So it's like this like layer of foundation. So if I meet you tonight, Gareth, and we go home, I don't need to worry about taking off like this makeup because it's semi-permanent. And that's what ladies are doing to kind of always have that glow 24/7.
That sounds like it's too good to be true, because there's got to be like some bad side to this. There's always a side effect. Nothing is for free.
Not really. So if you think of a permanent or like a temporary tattoo, and it's possible that then
but your skin needs to breathe.
But that's the thing, you know that. But then there are people that have found or will find this product. Oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Because I had the other one, but the makeup only lasts like 4 days. But wow, this one 4 months. You say like this is definitely the one. There's always someone to buy. It doesn't matter what you're making. There's always someone who will buy that, willing to buy that thing and spend the money on that thing.
So
it's crazy.
Disposable ear cleaning headphones. I mean, it's ridiculous. Somebody said, though, that is one sure way to make absolutely certain no one's going to steal your headphones, because they've got those little things that go. That's pretty, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't steal anybody's headphones, because, especially earphones, because that's gross, man. You don't know what got cockroaches in there, and God alone knows what.
Also, I judge people that don't clean their earphones, because I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, that thing is right in the ear, and you're listening to music or podcast, and you don't clean, and they're like, oh, I've never cleaned them. I'm judging you. I'm like, you are gross.
No, it's crazy where the world has gone. You know, social media. I call social media the best and the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
I agree.
It either works for you, like you use it. I go post my shows. I'm out, might comment, answer some questions, fun tweets now and then. But I can't allow myself to be consumed by this thing. You know, it's like money. Money either works for you and makes your life better, easier, or if you don't know what you're doing with that money, it's gonna deal with you, right? So you'll have so much money, and then you find yourself in so much debt, but you actually had so much money. So it's either you have this and you know exactly how you're gonna use whatever it is that you have. So you've got people who have their 500,000 followers, and then it's just half naked pictures every day, everywhere. And you're like, what does this person do? You know? And then you have 150,000 followers, and then the brand manager person picks the other person. So you're competing with that person for a job. For the same job, you know, post stuff, talk about the product, yada, yada, yada. How many people do you know that you've seen on social media? And you're like, what does this person do? How many followers? Who is this person? You know, and you have no clue. But you look at their you look at their Instagram profile. As soon as you see bookings, Gareth, you must know. If you thought you were on a date and you met a nice girl and you ended up having such a wild night, you better also start logging into your business banking apps. You know?
So this is so funny, Dave. I actually messaged a girl who I've known for a long time, and I got this automated response of like, "Hi, whatever her name is not available at the moment, but we will get back to you." I'm like, "Oh, okay, we got something going on here." So I'm waiting for her to call back, and I'm going to find out what the story is. Hey, good morning. What's up? You're on the air. Hello.
Hello. Load shedding, Baba. Load shedding.
That was a pocket dial.
Load shedding.
I think it's SARS. They're after us, Dave.
Load shedding during pocket dial during load shedding.
So I don't know what to make of this message, but I'm going to look it up here. It says, "Thank you for contacting," and then her name, right? "Please let us know how we can help you."
So I'm going to find business account. Yeah. Like,
I thought this was her private number. I'm serious. Yeah. So, I'm very interested to find out what's going on there. So I'll wait for her to call me back or message.
Say I'm going to Black's Only Comedy Show 25th March, Empress Palace. I was thinking of staying there, booking a room. Are you keen? Are you keen? And then wait for the next. And oh, by the way, you'll have to sign an NDA. Are you keen?
You know,
and then wait for the next.
There are more and more people and businesses using these automated response things where you got AI that replies to a message. You know, like for example, there are insurance companies that use it. So you'll message the insurance company and say, "Was in an accident," and then they'll reply, "I'm so sorry to hear that. Please send us your policy number." Then you send the policy number. It goes, "An agent will be in contact with you soon," or whatever. But you know it's a machine that's doing this stuff. I wonder how long it'll be before the machines are so good at that stuff that we don't know whether we're talking to a human being or not. And when that happens, whether some lonely, sad guy who lives in a basement is going to start falling in love with these machines. I mean, it's already happening, right? It's already happening. You got these guys
when they break up, they just switch off the internet.
Oh, during the fight, you're annoying me.
When they're fighting.
Airplane mode now.
These guys who fall in love with like a sex doll or whatever. You've seen these stories, right? It actually happens.
It's crazy.
Why haven't you seen me? You haven't spoken to me in a week. Yeah, the fiber was down. It was construction down the road. They cut the fiber. Yeah, sorry. I'm very sorry, but they say the power is back up now. So it's.
Can you imagine if the sex doll spoke like that?
I use Siri. I use Siri a lot. You know, I'll go somewhere and be like, "Siri, tell my wife I arrived safely," right? And it will type, "I arrived safely." So it's not gonna say, "Please tell my wife." It will just say, because you have to literally start the relationship, and then it kind of gets to start knowing you, right? Send an email to Ryan at Cliff Central. Opens email. What do you want to say in the email?
This is next level.
I use
You use it.
Yeah, I thought I was quite, advanced with my tech savviness, but like I'm not at that point where I'm just like, "Yo,
Gareth,
Siri, how you doing?"
You go and find me pictures of wine in my gallery. Yeah. It goes into my photos. It shows me all the pictures of wines or cars or whatever, right? But you need to train it almost. So in America, I mean, obviously internet and availability is so advanced and it's high speed. So you do this, and then you get to a point where now your phone or Siri starts going, maybe your alarm clock goes off at 5:30. Then Siri goes, "Should I order your coffee for you?" Yes. Will it be the usual? Starbucks, yada yada, frappuccino, yada yada, cuppa. Okay.
It's gonna happen, man.
And then it's it goes in the thing, and then it gets but because then the technology and the internet availability is, it's so much better and a bit advanced than where we're sitting now. And so it then becomes your, will you be.
But your phone knows because you use it a lot. So it gets better at understanding you, right?
Exactly. Because it's literally like creating a relationship. I tried ChatGPT or ChatGPT, whatever, for the first time. And I'm like, I think, I don't know if I asked, do you know any South African comedians or whatever? And it listed 5, and I wasn't in the thing. And I'm like,
Were
do
you
you
touched?
know? Not really, because I was interested in the technology. Do you know? I'm asking, do you know David Gow? Oh yeah, he's also this, that, he's done this, he's created da, 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 yada 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 yada. Then I type, I am David Gow, and it goes, oh wow, I would like to know more about David Gow. If there's anything else you want to tell me, please. I'll show you the conversation on my phone.
That's
Hopefully I still
phenomenal.
have the site. That is nuts, bro. That
And
is crazy.
so what did you decide to tell ChatGPT about you?
I said, I'll talk to you another time where I'll make time, and then I'll
Look at you being all mysterious and stuff.
It's insane. It's like, but the thing is, we don't know, we don't learn, we don't read, That's why we think if we don't vote for that party, they're gonna cut off our grants. And there's so much available on the internet. It's crazy. There's actually so much available on the internet.
So with ChatGPT, I recently also saw that, Turnitin for students, they've now been able to detect if people have used ChatGPT to write their assignments and whatnot, which was really like, what? Because when it arrived, they're like, you can just go on there now, let it write your entire assignment, and boom, shaka boom. And now you can't really use that in educational settings, which I think is really great. So that's also just been like how quick like the AI systems are picking up on each other to be like, okay, you use ChatGPT to write this assignment, so we can't fully accept it.
No, there's people who are apparently been doing that with their MBAs or theses, or literally I can say I'm doing an MBA on South African culture. It must be 30 pages, or I need to submit a thesis, which must be 20 pages. And then this thing will write the thesis for you. But then I think then the technologies now, they're starting to augment so that you can now come and ask this thing to do your master's for you, or submit your thesis for you. Or then there'll be whatever checks put in place.
We had a guest in, Dion Chang. He was in on Tuesday with Lebang and I, and we were talking about exactly this. And he said that they've now developed programs that can check if someone is using that, as Simphiwe said. So, like, as everybody worries about the worst case scenario for these things, but then someone develops something that fixes the problem. And I think this is what, by the way, I think this is the only solution to all these things like climate change that everybody's going on about, is we will come up with a technological solution to this stuff. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Someone will find a way pulling carbon out of the air and of making the air better, making sure that everybody and the plants and the animals and everything thrives. We're going to make the world better, not worse. Technology will help us. I'm telling you.
And for me, these are the advantages, that the more we can read or do for ourselves. So let's take a simple thing like WhatsApp. Some of us are on WhatsApp with our ward counselors, and we have even things that are not her fault. Hey guys, there's construction on Allendale. This company has cut people's electricity cables 9 times now. Eskom is going to send them a fine. There's ETA, yada. So it's not even like her problem or a government problem, but you can talk to her about everything immediately. She's available, right? And I asked one of my politician people or friends that I know, I'm like, where do you live? Do you know the local ANC councillor? And I said, what are councillors actually supposed to do? It's like this, that. But the people don't know, Gareth. People don't know. They can go to a councillor's house and say, why is the street light not working? Just those basics. Most people, especially in the townships, don't know. So you got a person who's a councillor, then you see a poster every 4 years during elections, and you're like, I didn't know you were a member or the representative for this party. I've known you for 4 years.
You don't even get to go to
each other at drinking spots and yada yada, or car washes. I had no clue. You've never asked me, is everything fine? What do you think of the new garden that we put at the robot? But we don't know. But there's so much available and so much information.
This is what technology does for us. And I think it's amazing. By the way, a lot of people are asking in the comments, have you seen Chris Rock's new special and what do you think of it? Because I haven't seen it yet, and I will take
There's a bit
advice.
of outrage from some people with the special. Especially I don't know, I haven't watched it either, but there's a part where he kind of talks about was it the Oscars or Grammys where he got the slap from Will Smith?
Will Smith.
And he basically didn't bring up Will Smith, and they're having like a huge issue that he basically was like, Jada this, Jada that, like why is he pinning this on a black woman? He brought up Meghan Markle, and then they're like, what's up with him? And just like shaming black women.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the outrage
No,
that I've seen.
It doesn't matter what he said. They still complain. It doesn't matter how he would have told what joke. There'll still be someone going to complain. And this is where, Gareth, if I go to a concert, with a Cat Darren concert, and I come back and I say, the DJ before Cat came on never played a single Amapiano song. He's racist. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to that show. Maybe.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have gone to that show, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's stand-up comedy. You choose this comedian.
But what kind of person? What kind of person thinks that the whole show and the whole world has to be about them the whole time? Like, what person goes through the world expecting everybody to cater to their wants, their desires, their outrages, their likes and dislikes? It's just the most incredibly arrogant thing in the world.
The most comments you can make about a comedy show, a stand-up comedian, is, I didn't like that joke. I don't think it was funny. I liked the show, but I only watched half. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. No, I like the setup, but the punchline, I thought he's going to go this way, but he went that way. I think it was funnier, or he should have cut it here, because that's when there was a big applause, and then he still tried to extend the joke, and then it starts falling.
Don't do that.
Nah, he wasn't funny. Nah, extremely. How do I now go? Yeah, I see the joke David Gow did about potholes, and I don't think you must talk like that about potholes, because potholes are people too, and they have feelings.
Well, we live in that era.
Because you come from the organization of potholes, representative of South Africa,
exactly.
that are making sure potholes are not abused. And this is a job they've taken upon themselves. They've raised money.
Yo, good morning.
Kids in a school somewhere. They've raised money too.
What's up?
Hi, it's Yonda here speaking. How are you guys?
Oh, Yonda from Cape Town. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm from Cape Town. All good. I've actually watched the Chris Rock special, and actually funny enough, it's actually about outrage, and funny enough, people get outraged. It's actually quite good. He does mention Will Smith quite explicitly, actually, towards the end of the show. So actually, people need to watch it. He goes on actually even on Meghan Markle as well, on how she didn't do actually research about the royal family. They actually invented racism, and how they think that they won't be racist.
Well, I mean, I've only seen little clips of this, but yeah, I mean, Yonda, thanks for the call. Meghan Markle. Yeah, go ahead.
No, make time to watch this, because it's a comedy show. If you go watch Jim Jeffries, but because the other woke one who saw Chris Rock only knows Meghan Markle. If you go watch Jim Jeffries, who's the girl with the environment thing, the 13 or 12-year-olds? Going to Davos. Greta Thunberg, right? If you go and listen to what that guy says about Greta Thunberg, then you're going to have another person complaining about, how can you say this about an 18-year-old? But he literally is like, I've been waiting to tell this joke because she was 13 and I thought, okay, maybe I can. Now she's 16 or 18. Here we go. Then he goes into somewhere. Right.
It's like, I've been waiting.
But you chose to watch Jim Jeffries. So if you've watched Chris Rock specials the past 3 or 4 over the past 30 years, you watch that special, it's Chris Rock. And Chris Rock is back. He's got another special. And if you didn't hold back 20 years ago and went in on this topic, he's now doing, if he went in on that person and that celebrity at that time, he's now going in on what happened with this one, what these ones did. And that's what he's commenting on. That's what the jokes are based on, you know. So my jokes are based on what people know or what I read, right? So I can't go and make up a joke about Meghan Markle. but I can make up a joke about Meghan Markle marrying Prince Harry. And I said, at the time, I said, it's the first time in my life I actually saw a proper white wedding. Not these black people and going in a tent. And I'm like, there were 1 million people at that wedding and there wasn't a single tent. That was a proper white wedding. Not us here with our white weddings and there's a tent and disposable toilets outside. And then there's still the traditional wedding. But we call the other one the white wedding. I'm like, this is a proper white wedding. Right? But I can't tell that joke and if they didn't have 1 million people at their wedding all over London or around the palace or whatever where they were. So they first had to get married, and specifically the hot chick from Suits
exactly,
is now marrying a prince. You know, gingerhead, whatever. I don't know if it's okay to call people ginger.
You can, yes, you can.
You know, the guy who used to smoke weed in Lesotho, planting some cabbages with the locals. Almost every year, actually, he does that, right? And those are facts.
Dude, listen, somebody says here their favorite David Gow joke is when you say, black person screaming, "Oh, I almost got drowned. I almost got drowned." So people remember shit, huh?
Yeah,
like you probably remember that.
And what's crazy, I mean, over 25 years, I've told so many jokes. I've forgotten some jokes, but if you come and say, oh no, do you remember this joke about, oh, you get off stage and someone says, yeah, but you didn't do the one about the politician, what is the time? And I'm like, yo, you remember that joke from this year, that show, and I'm like,
people do,
I don't even remember.
No,
you know?
But it's like I bump into people sometimes and they're like, oh, I remember in 2005 you said this thing about this person. I go, I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure I didn't say that, but they, in their heads, they have a full idea of exactly what you said, and they are still holding you responsible for that, whether it's good or bad or funny or not funny. And you just have to own it, I suppose. So listen, one other quick thing. Simphiwe likes to play this game with us, and I think this is a ridiculous one. So I've actually got a book. This arrived for me this week. It's called Would You Rather. So Simphiwe, you're going to love this.
Please.
Bring it in. So listen to this.
Would you rather?
Would you rather, yeah. Would you rather go up... Who would you rather go up in a fist fight to the death? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Ooh.
Buffy.
Buffy, obviously.
The Rock.
Go in a fist fight with The Rock.
Yeah.
It's not a fist fight. It's a fisting for him. He's just going to fist you. You're not going to be in a fight.
Would you rather
be in a fight?
All right, listen to this. Would you rather be a multi-millionaire and never have sex again, or have sex with your ultimate crush right this second, but you never earn more than 20K a year?
Ooh, I'm about the money. Yo, let's go. Let's live soft.
I'll take the billion.
There's toys. No, like money.
Sex and kiss my ass. I'll find. I will develop an underwear that has sex with me. With that billionaire.
What's your one?
It's easy. Let's go with the money, Chief. Like I'm not trying to live a life of struggle.
What's your question? Would you rather?
Oh yes. My would you rather is laugh unconditionally, uncontrollably every time you see someone naked for the first time, or fall in love immediately with every person you see naked.
I'll laugh uncontrollably forever. I'll just be
no. Every time someone gets naked around you, just start laughing.
If you fall in love with people and then you're at the 20th March, Julius Malema shut down, then there's like 1 million EFF members you're going to fall in love. You're going to have a problem.
Listen, Dave, I know you have to go. Dave's got the show that he wants to plug quickly before he leaves, and that is the Blacks Only Comedy show. It is on the 25th. You've got to get along to Emperor's Palace. And where do we get our tickets?
Tickets are at CompuTicket. There's a link in all my bios on my profiles. David Gao 1 on Twitter, awesome. David Gao on Instagram, David Gao Comedian, TikTok, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic lineup. First show of 2023 after 19 years of Black Song League.
Amazing.
We did the Dome in 2018, 10,000 people, and now it's a car dealership.
You see?
So maybe they must come, because the next time they go to a palace, it might be a townhouse complex. So come to this show, 25th March, Empress Palace. And by the way, I'm giving away a generator. I'm giving away an inverter.
There's prizes.
I'm not even joking.
And it's important ones.
And I'm giving away power banks as well.
Oh, that's great.
The Black Song League State of Disaster, because we always theme Black Song Leagues according to what's happening around that time in the country.
I love that. All right, you're giving away a generator. Listen, if you aren't going to go for the comedy, go for the generator. I mean, that's a good reason to go.
It's very important. That thing is very important.
Sorry, Chief. You've had 5 comedians. When are you giving away the generator? Because, please, I've got load shedding at 10. It's got up to 10. I was hoping that you are giving away this thing at the beginning of the show at 8
Yeah,
p.m.
so that they can leave.
Please, my brother, please. Can we skip this comedian and just do? And literally, I'll be like, everybody, look under your seat. You get an inverter. You get an inverter. You get an inverter. You get. I'm even thinking of giving away a kilometer of cable. You rock up at Gautrain. There's a cable theft issue. You put your own cable. The Gautrain goes where you want, and then you take your cable with you.
A man with solutions.
You said we must be solution based. I'm being very intentional about that.
Dude.
I didn't say it will be all together, the cable. It might be 1 meter, 1 meter. But I am giving away a kilometer of cable.
Oh my God.
Well. Listen, 8 p.m. show starts. Please don't be late.
He's the best.
And it'll be fun. And I'll ask who's from the Cliff Central show. Then I will personally give you something, a power bank that's going to last for like a month. And then after that, your phone starts charging the power bank.
Oh, wow.
At least I'm telling you now. At least I'm telling you now.
Dude, I love having you on the show. Thank you so much, Dave. It's so good to see you.
So much.
I'm very glad that you weren't eaten by the lion when you went hiking for the first time last week.
I'm very curious to go back and just to see what happens.
Dude. All right.
Maybe the lion is looking for someone or something.
Someone particular.
It's probably vegan, so there might be 1 or 2 human beings that they know. Oh, this one goes hiking, only eats vegetables, doesn't drink sugar. Perfect. When the lion comes into Hennops and it's like, sorry, Sising, sorry, can I please pass? And then it comes straight to you. You are vegan, right?
Rachel says we need a special from you, David. We miss you. So there's a
I'm gonna work on one.
Awesome.
And definitely I'm probably at my funniest in the past 3
Dude,
days.
you are.
You're
so good. And so relaxed. All right. We love you, Dave. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. This was awesome. But let's diarize a few more days for Friday.
Diarize.
Come into studio. No, we have to. Look, Wednesdays are very tricky. I play golf. Sundays I play golf. Friday there might be a golf day. So Fridays, at least I can go from here straight to teeing off. Golf day tee-offs start a bit late. But all other days, we can work something out.
I love it. All right, Dave. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much, bro. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Simphiwe. Thanks, Ryan. And I'll see you guys at the show.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave. David Gao, everybody. What a guy. Absolute G. All right. So, Simphiwe, you want some more Would You Rathers?
Yes, please. Let's go.
All right. Okay. Let's go to, I'm going to choose a random category here because this book's full of good ones. Okay. Would you rather have no teeth or have the name Colleen tattooed across your neck?
That's a horrible one.
Have
It's so
Colleen,
bad.
Colleen
Oh,
or have no teeth?
I think I'd have to go with the choline because then I can put some foundation on it and cover it up. The no teeth. Now you guys know. I love laughing. I like showing my teeth. I would not be okay. No.
Okay. All right. Would you rather jump into a lake of crocodiles or call Vladimir Putin a stupid twat to his face?
Yo, that man, so he can deal with me right there and there. That man is he's not even scared of bears. Yo, I've seen some of the things he's gone after. No, crocodiles, chief, I might survive. Putin,
Love this.
He's dangerous. Woo!
All right. Would you rather have dusty Dorito fingers all the time? In other words, all your life from now on, you're going to have Dorito fingers. Or you're never able to wash your hands again after having a sticky orange.
No. Oh, that's... Oh.
I'd find a way around the sticky orange. I'm telling you, I'd like jump in a swimming pool or something. So you're technically not washing your hands, but you can get that sticky orange off. God, I hate having sticky hands. It's the worst.
It is. And then like you have to type and then you have to touch your phone and then it's the clothing. So before you know it, your entire body is sticky. And then the Dorito hands is just gross. Like you just... Nah, let's go with the sticky oranges.
All right, here's a good one. Would you rather eat a burger that you know has a big pool of saliva in it, or finish a rotten apple?
So because this is what I live by, the tastiest food always comes from the most dodgiest places with like questionable hygiene. That's when you know it's going to slap. So let's go with the burger.
With saliva.
I know it's gonna taste good.
anytime I hear saliva, I just think of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma going, and when people put saliva on the paper. Remember? I missed that song. Jesus. Right. Would you rather have to would you rather have to shit out a Subway foot-long sandwich, or that's this long and this thick, or have to throw up 20 McDonald's nuggets? Horrendous. Hey, you started this.
I just had one question. It was just one question.
No,
I would rather... Yo, that one. Let's go, because I don't know when that's going to take place with the foot-long thing. Let's go with the McDonald's.
This long. I mean, a foot-long sandwich and as thick as a Coke can.
Yeah, and it might block up some things, and I don't know where I'd be. So, to avoid embarrassment and everyone knowing that I was in the toilet.
Yeah. Good point. Well put. All right. Here's a much more sensible, rational, reasonable one. But you've got to think about it carefully because both are horrible, right? Would you rather stub your toe 200 times? You know how sore that is. Or get 200 paper cuts.
They're just as bad. Like the paper cuts. Oh,
right. Which one is worse?
I would go with the paper cuts because it's a lot, 200, but they're small, as opposed to the paper cuts.
There are some.
I think I can tolerate that pain. Paper cuts.
Wow, there's some hectic ones here. Would you rather have a permanently sandy ass crack, or have a stone in your shoe that you can never take out?
Oh no, that's the worst. Now I'm annoyed at people for nothing. Like you can't say, and you don't know. No, let's go with the shady ass. Y'all don't see it.
He's so scripty. Oh my god. All right, last one because we got to wrap this up. Would you rather never have access to YouTube ever again, or be able to keep your YouTube on condition that you post an embarrassing status every day.
That embarrassing, guys. I love YouTube, so I'm doing the embarrassing status because I've learned a lot. I've learned some life lessons thanks to YouTube.
Sorry.
So.
I'm losing YouTube. That's not even a contest. I'm losing YouTube, and I think I'd rather get the paper cuts than the stubbing of the toe.
And it's just gonna look black after some time. Guys, I'm very much about my appearance. Whereas the paper cuts, they're small, different places in the body. I'd like to think you can overcome that.
Hectic stuff. Everybody wants to know where George is, says Ryan, the producer. Maybe let them know that he'll be on next week. Well, there we go, Ryan. George is not here with us this week, but he will be back next week. And that is it from me and Simphiwe. I hope you have an awesome Friday, everybody. We will see you on Monday, bright and early at 6 a.m. Don't forget, hey, there's a public holiday coming up this month. So remember the 21st. It's not this coming week, but it's the week after on the Tuesday is the 21st. So that is a public holiday. So put that in your diary. I know. Horrible, huh? I know. What do you do with that? What do you do with the what happens to the Monday? It's so stupid. I wish they could just put it next to a weekend. Really. All right, everybody. Have a happy day. We'll see you on Monday.